I have a huge case study to share with you guys today for a apparel brand we've been working with for the last year. We added $37,426 a month in SEO revenue to their brand in the last 12 months. I'm going to break down the entire strategy, exactly how we did it. So let's go ahead and get into that. But first, let's check out the growth stats. All right, these are the quick highlights, the numbers you guys want to see. 160% year-over-year increase in organic search revenue, an additional $37,426 each month. Okay, looking at July of August of 2025 compared to July and August of 2024, 160.2% increase in revenue. Pretty much triple-digit growth in every single main organic search KPI. Items viewed almost scratching triple digits, but everything else, items added to cart, items purchased, all in triple-digit growth, and of course, item revenue being the highest number, which is what we love to see there. Okay. Now, looking at Search Console data, okay, 130% year-over-year increase in non-branded, so I've already filtered out the branded searches here. Transactional organic search traffic. So this is just strictly to collection pages. Their product pages don't get a lot of traffic, so these are all their transactional pages. Again, year-over-year growth, 130%. You can see the top queries and top pages here. Compression stocks for women, infinite growth here, quite literally. Compression stocks for men, 4,400% increase. Compression stocks for varicose veins, all these other ones down here are actually new queries that we targeted for the first time, and I'm going to show you how we decided to target those and how we actually went about it. And then pages here as well, quadruple digit growth, nearly 2,000% on the women's collection. Varicose veins, infinite growth. It's the new collection. Spring and summer, triple digit growth. Men's compression socks, 560% growth. Okay, so the strategy crushed and is still crushing to this day, and I'm going to show you exactly how we did it. Again, just a couple more stats. In the last 7 days alone, we've actually doubled the amount of organic visitors based on fresh rankings, from 20K a month to about 40K a month. Okay, this is from SEMrush. You can see pretty much like a vertical line here in late July, or mid to late July rather, when we finally hopped into the top 2 results for pretty much our 5 biggest keywords. Okay, traditionally speaking, or historically speaking rather, we'd had 1 or 2 of these 5 keywords all in the top 1 or 2 spots at the time. Finally, we got all 5 of them in there. Hence the doubling in revenue or doubling in traffic. Okay. Interview with the founder. I posted this back in March. So the numbers we talk about here are a little bit dated, but you can see what his experience is like working with us. If you are a Shopify brand doing $1 million a year or more in revenue and you want to see numbers like this, check out this interview, check out this case study, and then book call me. I definitely want to chat with you. All right. Now let's get into the strategy. I've broken this down into 3 main parts: technical, on page, and off page. Very simple, very straightforward. Okay. Now, brand's been around for a handful of years. I think it's a family-owned brand, probably coming up on like somewhere between like 5 and 10 years in the Shopify ecosystem. They'd work with a few SEO freelancers over the years, most of which were just writing blogs and doing like nonsense technical audits, quite frankly. Okay, technical SEOs had done a decent job, but as their number of SKUs had grown, they had some bloated crawl budget and cannibalization issues going on with a lot of the blogs and product pages and all these kinds of things. Okay. So we actually spent the first 48 hours on our technical audit and the next 72 hours implementing our changes. And this only got us about 90% of the way, I would say, across all of our technical issues solved. Right? We slowly worked through the remaining cannibalization issues and bloated crawl budget over the next few weeks. And maybe you're thinking, why not do this all at once? I thought technical SEO had to all be done first, solid foundation so you can build on top. Yes and no. I mean, if you've got hundreds of broken links, all these kinds of errors, absolutely you should fix that first. And that's what we did. We fixed all the critical issues first. However, we didn't delay the content and the link building so that we could just fix all the technical stuff first. The reason being is I knew that the collection page optimization and the new collection pages and the backlink building would have a far bigger impact on revenue than the technical SEO stuff ever could. Now, the collection page stuff and the link building probably wouldn't have had such big growth without us solving the technical SEO issues first. But I wanted to get things moving. As a service provider, as an SEO agency, we have to get results pretty quickly in order to justify brands spending the money with us. Okay, so if we get onto revenue generating activities faster, that works in our favor as well as the brands, and we can slowly start to come back to the technical items that are, I would say, lower priority, kind of over the course of the next few weeks, which is exactly what we did. Okay, so technical SEO, enough on that. All right, let's get on to the fun stuff. So on page, largely speaking, when I'm talking about on page here, we're going to talk about collections. We're going to very quickly touch on blogs because we had a pretty unique set of data compared to a lot of the other brands I've seen. So I want to touch on that. Okay, now The brand sells compression socks. Okay, that's what they sell. That's it. If you don't know, compression socks have a variety of benefits and use cases for athletes, for travelers, medical conditions in various cases, pregnant women, people who stand all day, and people who sit all day. Okay. Um, every single brand alive knows that their product has multiple selling angles to different people, right? Um, even if you're selling, I use the example all the time, like you're selling a protein powder, you know that protein powder can be used to lose weight and to gain muscle and 30 other things. Okay. You know that. And intuitively, you know that, and you use it in your different email campaigns, your paid ads, all these kinds of things. And this brand's doing the same thing with their compression socks. However, while their product pages had kind of spoke to some of the features, they didn't have any targeted collection pages to actually reach users searching for specific use cases, which, as an example, like compression socks for varicose veins, which was, if you recall, one of the keywords I showed you up here. Okay. So what we did is we created 30 plus collection pages to go after all these long tail keywords. Okay. When they first began, they only had a few major collections: all socks, men's, women's, extra wide, and wide. Again, both men's and women's for each of the wide and extra wide. Okay. First 7 days we spent optimizing all those, as well as some other like smaller, longer tail ones that they had like seasonal, or they have like special collaborations. Like we optimized a few of those as well, and we improved internal linking. All of them jumped positions in a matter of days. Our optimization workflow is pretty straightforward. We use the same one for every brand. Obviously, each brand has a different collection page, which I've laid out kind of that's my ideal structure for that in other videos. But we like to adapt to brands' current formatting if it's going to suit us from an SEO perspective. Okay, I want to make minimal changes to, impact maximum results. Sometimes redesigning an entire collection page doesn't make the most sense, so we try to make minimal changes, right? But again, how our optimization workflow runs: we analyze the performance of each individual collection page in Search Console. I now like to use SEO Gits, which is just an integration with Search Console. A little bit easier to use. I've used it on this channel before. After that, determine the underserved/underutilized queries within each page. Okay, so like for compression socks, for example, looking at the singular version of compression sock, or like socks that compress, like all these other queries that mean the same thing, and that you're getting clicks and impressions for in Search Console, but aren't actively on the page. And then you surgically implement those underserved queries onto the live version of the page, and all of a sudden you rank higher. Okay, that is like literally step 3. Step 4 is adding internal links, so linking from the all compression socks collection to the men's page, to the women's page, to the wide, to the extra wide. And then as we add in all these new use case collections, linking to those as well. Okay, step 5 is rank higher. Very simple. Okay, this workflow, like, it's 5 steps. It may seem oversimplified. It is oversimplified. Our content team spends a lot of time running through these underserved queries and very diligently thinking about internal links, but like it is this simple at a high level. Okay. After we took those first like 7 collections, so 7 or 8 collections, this boosted each ranking by a minimum of 2 to 3 spots. Our target number 1 keyword, which is compression socks, I think for the very first time hit page 1 within like 2 weeks of us starting the campaign. So that was a year ago. So that was really good to see. Okay. After we had optimized the existing ones, we got into the use case ones, which I talked about, or I kind of already like alluded to / like maybe already, kind of detailed in this video, but I'm going to kind of walk you through more of them, right? Now, again, compression socks, like pretty much every product ever, have multiple selling angles, multiple use cases, okay? So we actually ended up building out 30 total new collections targeting keywords like compression socks for flying, for travel, for nurses, for swollen feet, pregnancy, swelling, plantar fasciitis, shin splints, all these things, right? Now, I just selected the top 20 out of SEMrush just for this video. We actually ended up building more than this, but just in these top 20 keywords, you can see the total search volume right here is 45,500. That theoretically means that we expanded our total potential market by 45,000 people per month, which is, what's that? A little over half a million a year in total new users. So this works, okay? And again, like this isn't even scratching the whole surface. Like we had a lot of longer tail keywords that were like 400, 500, 600 searches a month in volume. We used AI to draft the copy. Our team tailored the headings, tailored the internal links, tailored the Search Console data to match it all. And then we published the whole thing for the brand, okay? We sent over all the Google Docs to the brand to review. He approved them same day. We took care of it in Shopify, built the collections, added the products, sent him the live links, and submitted our links to the indexing tool we use to get these pages indexed in Google immediately. Okay. Now, this system for this brand, just like all of our other brands, is completely done for the client and potentially you. Most of our clients spend 1 to 2 months each month even thinking about SEO. It is quite literally organic search done for you on autopilot. Okay. Now, after all the collections pages were optimized and or created, like in these 30 new collections that were created, we moved on to blog content. Like I said, they had freelancers that had spent probably the better part of the last 3 years just writing blog after blog. They had a lot of blogs covering the same keywords, same topics, so a lot of cannibalization going on. And a lot of blogs that just, like, quite frankly, didn't rank well at all, okay? Or didn't drive any traffic despite being written a year or two ago. So we pruned all of the underperforming blogs to earn back some of our bloated crawl budget, okay? Google has a finite amount of pages, though that number will expand over time, a finite amount of pages that it's going to allocate in resources to crawl your website. If it's crawling your website and it's finding 100 blogs that don't drive any traffic, that means it is probably missing out on 100 other pages that could be more valuable to you actually making money. So by getting rid of the underperformers, we free up crawl budget to crawl pages that actually will drive revenue and actually drive traffic. Okay. For the medium to high performing blog posts, we update those to drive even more traffic and get more leverage. Okay. Blog traffic has probably declined on average like 30 to 40% across like all of e-commerce over the last year with AI overviews and ChatGPT and all that kind of stuff. However, there are still blogs that drive traffic, and I'm going to show you that in a second. How we update high performers or medium performers to perform even better and get more leverage. We audit the SERP for each and every keyword for each page. So what are we missing in our blog the top 3 results have? Okay, is it a certain number of sections? Are we like way off on word count? Are we missing internal links? Are we missing crucial data points? Whatever it may be, we improve the content based on that audit. We then add internal links to the new collections. Again, these blogs, while they help drive traffic, they really get you leverage. Okay, if an internal link from a blog getting 1,000 visits a month, hypothetically, that internal link to a collection page is going to provide a lot more value than an internal link from a blog getting no visits a month. Okay, so improving blog traffic, while maybe not directly tied to revenue in the most like near sense of the word, it gets you more leverage to make more money via the internal links to the collection pages. Okay. And then again, third piece of this component for the blog updates is internal links between similar blogs. Think of a rising tide lifts all ships, right? Content clustering, topical maps, things of that nature. These internal links all play a role. If you connect 4 or 5 blogs together via internal links that all perform well, their collective value is better than each individual kind of blog post on its own. Okay. So after pruning the blogs and after updating them and adding some new ones of our own, we have actually increased blog performance year over year, 38%, despite AI reviews and more informational searches happening on ChatGPT, Claude, and other LLMs. Okay, so if you can look up like blog decrease studies right now, I think Ahrefs and SEMrush and a bunch of other SEO tools have said that on average, sites are declining 30 to 40% year over year in informational queries. We're actually going the opposite way with this brand, 30 to 40% increase. And again, it's a result of pruning and just being more deliberate about the blogs you're writing. Any query that could be answered by AI reviews, we weren't writing. Okay, we got into some competitor-based stuff. We got into some different use cases, and as a result, it's paying off. We're nearly at 1,000 clicks in the last month, which across the total number of blogs isn't like overly substantial. There's probably 10 or 15 that are driving the lion's share of that volume. However, we have quite literally bucked the trend the opposite way with this blog content. And we're doing the same kind of blog strategy for all of our clients, and it's working pretty much the same across the board. So if your brand is really heavily reliant on blog traffic and you would like some more transactional traffic and to reverse that trend, I believe we'll probably help you out. Anyways, the added traffic didn't hurt. As I mentioned, like blog traffic is cool. I mean, it's fine. It's a kind of a vanity metric, but it's pretty nice to know we're going the opposite way as the rest of the trend is. I was mostly interested in the internal links. Higher traffic blogs give me more leverage to rank transactional pages higher, which enable the brand to make more money. Okay, blogs are leverage. So the added traffic is nice, but the added traffic really is just a means to an end, and that means the end is the increase in the organic search revenue by nearly 170% in the last year. Okay. Now, off-page SEO. Last step here. The brand SEO had grown over the years primarily via via branded search, but they've done little backlink building. They just had kind of grown a decent brand and acquired links naturally. Some of the freelancers they had done or had worked with had done like Web 2.0 links and like blog forum commenting, like really outdated stuff that doesn't really work on the e-commerce level. Like sometimes works on local, but doesn't really work on e-commerce. So with the kind of branded search was a nice like lever to pull for them. However, the amount of links they had did not enable them to rank for more competitive, higher revenue generating keywords like compression socks. Okay. That keyword gets 165,000 searches a month. I think it has a keyword difficulty of like 60 something. Unless your brand is doing like, I don't know, couple 100 million a year, you're probably not going to rank for that without backlinks. Like, unless you've got an enormous branded search for it, you're not going to rank number one on a keyword that competitive unless you build the right links. So that keyword aside, you need to rank in the top 3 if you want to make money on a keyword. Simple as that. There's too many ads, AI overviews, all that kind of stuff. Like page 1 is not good enough. Top 3 is the only thing that matters. And honestly, if we're being totally transparent, it's really like the number 1 spot. That's like where you need to be. Okay. Now, we started with a mix of reactive PR and link insertions for the brand. This was a year ago. Okay. So like last July. Reactive PR earned us links on sites like this, GoBanking, Yahoo Finance, both UK and US sites, MSN, GoBanking again, and Yahoo Finance again. Okay. These links are cool. They're flashy. They're fine. You talk to like a PR agency of any kind, like these are links they're going to pitch you on. They're good to look at because the domain rating is awesome and you get to be on websites that you've actually heard of. You primarily get branded anchors, which are the most like natural looking anchors. However, I will tell you most of the success on our end actually came from link insertions and guest posts plus tiered link stacks, which I'm going to get into now. So about probably December of last year. So we were about 4 or 5 months in, and we decided to drop reactive PR altogether and just go solely at link insertions and guest post stacks. So we have been doing that since. Okay. Now, 7 a month for the brand is pretty much like our target range here. Primarily the homepage on a mix of branded and contextual anchors, as well as to other specific collections like the varicose vein collection or the travel collection, as an example. Okay. Now, I think reactive PR is a bit overhyped. I've seen the way agencies charge for it. Again, it's very nice to say you got featured on Yahoo Finance or whatever else, but like, I think the links are a bit harder to track in terms of how valuable they actually are to your site beyond just how they make you feel. Like they're like a dopamine hit, I think, more so than they are like an actual ROI driver. So for us, link insertions and the guest post plus tier link stacks we build are more predictable and more scalable, and we get more control over the actual anchors and the surrounding content. Okay. Link insertions are good because they're 20 to 40% cheaper on average than guest posting, and you can build them directly on pages that either have traffic or already have strong internal links. Guest posts don't have any traffic or any internal links, as you know, because it doesn't even exist yet, right? You haven't actually posted it yet. Link insertions are harder to find for sure, but they are immensely more valuable, which is why we build them. Out of our 7, 4 to 5 of those typically are link insertions, so we weight more heavily that direction. Okay. Now, guest post. I used to be firmly against them until we finally figured out how to consistently build tiered links at scale safely. So most guest posts don't get any traffic, right? You've got to not only write the content, you have to publish it, and then you have to probably suggest the internal links for the publisher to build. And even if they decide to take your word on it, like you may get lucky with a couple internal links. You'd be lucky to get the page index, definitely lucky to get it trafficked. Okay. So for each guest post we build 10 tier 2 backlinks to each guest post. Okay. So we build 3 guest posts. That's 30 tiered links. Okay? First is to get it indexed. Second is to drive traffic. We will hammer it with more tiered links if we believe it's going to be valuable to us. And only at this point is the guest post actually become valuable to our client site. If you're reading this or watching this and your agency builds guest posts, I would bet you more than 9 out of 10 agencies do not build tiered links. They're hard. They're not hard. They're hard to do at scale. And guest posts are just like pretty easy because you can just farm it out to a VA and it's done. Okay. Tiered links make our guest posts exceptionally more valuable than your average guest post. Okay. And because of this kind of nuance we do and this extra step we take, it is why this brand, like so many of our clients, continue to outrank competitors much bigger than themselves because our SEO strategies are tailored specifically to them and their niche. Okay, this brand is by no means the biggest compression sock brand in the country. Okay, like in the United States, like there are I can name probably 4 or 5 of them that are doing more revenue than it. Some in the hundreds of millions of dollars a month or a year rather. But we actually outrank them because our strategy was tailored specifically to this brand, to their budget, and how I thought we could best handle the SERPs. So that is why we get to double their business from organic search by 170% in the last 12 months. Okay. This works, right? Now, if you're a Shopify brand doing $1 million a year in revenue and you want to grow your organic search revenue by 167% in the next 12 months, fully done for you, all handled, no questions asked. You can book a discovery call with me below, and I look forward to chatting with you. Peace.